I think entrepreneurship is the most spiritual journey you
Could
go
not
on.
absolutely.
You meet yourself, you self-initiate. I mean, every crossroads you come to is literally an activation of your higher self.
Vanessa, thank you so much for being here, babe. Welcome to the Spiritual Hustler.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Looking into your eyes, I'm like, oh, I see those universes in there. We come from the same star seed
think we
family.
might.
I think we might. We're going to talk about it.
I know you.
I know you. Exactly.
I know
It's like
you.
a
Yes.
recognition.
Yes.
So when Megan, who mutually connected us, I was like, oh, I looked at your Instagram. I'm like, that's it. She's my people.
Yes.
She's my species.
She's exactly my people.
My people. So
Yeah.
I want to get right into, because I am so fascinated by Kundalini.
Yeah.
Like, I've taken the classes, I've done some breath work. I think I had a Kundalini activation once. We think of Kundalini in the world of the spiritual, mystical sense, but you have threaded it to business.
Yeah.
So can you take us into how we use, what is Kundalini life force? What's the sort of technology of it? And then how do we use it within our businesses?
Yeah. So, I mean, I like to think of Kundalini really as your own untapped reservoir of power. So it's really like, in the Kundalini yogic perspective, it's this coiled serpent-like energy that sits
I love the snake.
at the base. Yes. Snake energy, right? It's like this coiled up energy that sits sort of dormant at the base of your spine. And so the idea is that through the Kundalini techniques, through breath work and mantra and mudra and asana and all of the things that we consider Kundalini technology, that we can start to unleash and tap into that ignition point and into that fire that is your own energy field. So as you start to really just run more of you through you, you start to just feel like you're more empowered. You start to feel like you have more energy, more insight. And then from a more sort of quantum perspective, they say that you start to tap into like theta and gamma brainwave states. So these are the brainwave states where you're almost in that dreamlike essence. You're almost in that super conscious field, as Joe Dispenza would say. And so you're starting to see things from a different perspective. You're starting to sort of connect dots and see things in ways that maybe you wouldn't have from a different brainwave state.
Wow.
And so I like to think of, really applying that to your business, because most of what we do in business is really trying to thread things together, right? We're trying to figure out, like, how does this work together? How can I make the biggest impact? What's my message? What's my energy?
Right.
What's all of the things that I'm trying to help someone ignite in themselves? And so when you really use the Kundalini force, you're starting to connect those dots, and you're starting to really collapse timelines. You're starting to just bring the field to you so that you don't have to work so hard.
Let's go.
Let's go.
That's the whole spiritual hustler invitation.
Yeah.
To be honest, like how does this get to be easy and fun?
Yeah.
And light and still abundant and impactful and expansive?
Yes.
So your work is really with female entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And so what is your process? Like, how can people work with you? What kind of techniques and practices do you help women activate? Like, can we really break down the practicality of it, what it looks like in action?
Yeah.
And then how you're taking it sort of to that next step and guiding them to use that Kundalini for their brand, their business? Like, what is the process?
Yeah. So I base everything around what I call the sacred six.
Okay. I had questions on that.
Yes.
Great.
So this is really kind of my unique methodology
Beautiful.
or whatever, but it's really, I think it's just a feminine way of updating what a lot of us have already been doing in business.
Cool.
And I think one of the things that happens, especially for fempreneurs, when they're like, okay, out with the hustle, out with the masculine, out with the whatever, they sort of throw the baby out with the bathwater and forget that we're still businessing.
The masculine needs the feminine,
Yes.
the feminine needs the masculine. I read that about you. I completely agree with that.
Yeah. And
We need
so we
both.
sometimes just think that now it's all energy, right? And it is 100%. We have to have our energy on lock. And that's why all the practices that I do and share. And we also need to think about all of the aspects that are just businessing, right? These are
Right.
the things that we have to do as fempreneurs to make sure that we're servicing each aspect of our business. So I like to think of this as a Merkaba. So yes.
The Merkaba.
And this all dropped in. And I think this is what's beautiful is that we can reinvent the terms, the language, the vernacular, the way that we relate to the businessing so that it feels more aligned with us spiritually and from that sort of femme perspective, while still making sure that we're doing the things that are necessary to have a thriving, scalable business if we want. So are you ready for this?
I'm so ready for this. I'm like salivating over here, actually.
Yes,
this
I love
is so
it.
my jam.
So the Sacred Six is we start with energetics.
Okay.
And in the old masculine way, you know, they didn't even talk about energetics, right? Like it was really like sales, marketing, you know, value, blah, 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 right? There was no sense of really anchoring in the energetics. So we start with energetics that sits at the top of the Merkaba. That's the North Star, so to speak. Then we go into your visionary impact. In the old world, this would have been value, right? Value creation. What are you bringing to the world? What are you birthing?
Right.
And so I really like the term visionary impact because it was more like, okay, what's the way that you're birthing your vision onto planet Earth? You're taking that old world template and you're updating it through this new Earth technology. So it's impact, right? It's all about like your soul's vision. And then in the old world, we would have said next is marketing, right?
Yep.
Marketing, it's just so charged with so much collective consciousness.
I could not agree more.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, it's good reference material. We can keep it. But I like to, you know, I updated it to magnetic messaging, which I know a lot of us spiritual entrepreneurs feel that term and use that term. But it's more about who am I? Where's my vibration? How can I speak to what I deliver in a way that's magnetic and attracts people into how I can serve them, right?
Love this.
Yeah. And so then we went to sales. Sales is like, okay, sales.
Very charged.
Very Mad Men, right?
Yeah,
Very like, how can we get them? How can we convince them? How can we get over on them, right?
Right.
So this was really about sacred inviting, sacred invitations in the new femme framework, right? And so it's about really dropping into the heart source and saying, like, how can I serve this person through my visionary impact and really inviting them from that sacred location.
Wow, babe.
Yeah, it just goes on and on, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So then from there, we go into empowered transformation. In the old school way, this might have just been value delivery, like, which feels very transactional. It's great. Like I'm giving you something, you're giving me something, value delivery, it's great. But empowered transformation is like I'm eliciting an opportunity for you to transform yourself, which I think is just very much more new world, right?
It's beyond.
Yeah. And then the very last thing is finance. The math has to math.
Yes.
We know this
Yes.
as fempreneurs, but I like to think of it as energetic exchange. So really like, how are we meeting in a place where we feel both supercharged about the way we are giving and receiving from each other? And when we are able to activate all 6 levels of this I think is when we really drop into the full essence of the heart and when the full Merkaba comes online in our service.
Full body chills. Full body chills, seriously. And it's like I made the joke, we're from the same species. We are the same species. It's literally everything. Our codes are so aligned and interwoven. Can I just break this down?
Please.
Because I'm seeing the Merkaba in the field right now as I'm talking to you. And magnetism is the whole point of messaging and branding and marketing. Like that is the aim, to be magnetic, to let it be effortless, for things to come to you, to be a source of attraction through your authenticity, right? And I really believe everything comes back to the heart. I talk about this all the time on this podcast. It is the New Earth Feminine Leadership Center to really, really create a world that is heart-led, which is why we're all suffering.
Yeah.
And it's not just women, it's the masculine, it's the whole frequency of humanity on such a big level. And I don't want to say like it's, you know, a problem negative, like I don't want to go there, because we do live in this 3D dimension. Love and fear, right, is the duality here. This is at least how I see it.
Yeah.
And fear has been dominant and love is the way. And it has to begin with the heart. And we've missed that memo. And I love that you've put that at the center of this model. I wrote in my book that selling is an act of service, that people do not buy what you sell. They don't buy your deliverables. They don't buy even inspiration. They buy transformation. And that the financial aspect is it's about an energetic exchange. Like you said, it's not a transaction. It's so fucking good. And it's so needed right now. It's true technology, I think, of I love how you call it femme entrepreneurs. It's so fucking poignant. The activation of each of these things, can you walk me through your process? Like what the framework is genius. Connect the dot to Kundalini. Like, are you taking women through breathwork practices, visualization? Like, what is the journey to get to the Merkaba?
Yeah. So within each of those aspects, we really dive deep. And one of my codes is F the template.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So what I really love to do is inspire women to find how they uniquely want to identify and serve each piece of that Merkaba. So instead of saying, this is how you should do sacred inviting, this is how you should set up your containers, this is how you should do X, Y, and Z, I really try to help them understand that if they really if they have a great grasp of what each of those things serve in their business, then they can start to attune to how they want to serve their unique medicine into that. So for me, it's not about like step one is we come up with your offer suite. I mean, yes, we do, but it's more about inspiring them to really get clear on how they might want to serve that's different than me, that's different from you, right? Yes. And so much of this in, our world, I think is very template based because especially for new entrepreneurs, they're coming in and they're just like, show me the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I'm new here, right? I don't know how to do it. So it's very tempting to be like, okay, first do this, right? Do this thing, your free giveaway or, and take them through something. And that's totally beautiful. But I also like them to deeply understand, well, why are you doing a giveaway? Why are you doing a freebie? Why are you doing a conversion event? Is this actually how you want to speak to people, invite people in, convert them into your offer? Is this the way you would do it if I wasn't your teacher doing it in my business? And so I like to get really into the nuance of how they might be inspired to do it slightly differently and really help them understand from a practical and a magical perspective that they might do business differently. They might see it a little bit different than me, but if they really understand all of the pieces and know that they just have to serve them in a way that makes sense, that they can have incredible outcomes. And so it's not necessarily about like, well, we start here and we create this thing and we do the technology of the Kundalini to empower it. It's more like, hey, let's be in our Kundalini practice daily. I offer daily, I'm insane. I offer daily meetups for my mastermind group.
Wow.
So they can
Good
literally,
for you, girl. That's amazing.
Yeah. So they can come in every morning, practice together, like 30 minutes to an hour, get the energy set for the day. And then it's like, okay, where are we in your sacred six? What are you working on? What are you launching? What needs to be created? And then we just make sure that the energy is really aligned so that they can be in their highest intuition to pull down the way that they want to serve it.
Incredible. So I always say that building a business is like basically personal development on steroids.
100%.
It's such an inside job.
Yes.
And so I love the reframe on like templates and starting from within.
Yes.
I'm so curious. It sounds like this technology is obviously so encoded in the way you move through the world in every way, not just your business. What is your origin story with Kundalini? Like, how did you find it? Why? What did it do for your life that led you here?
Yeah. By the way, I just wanted to tell you that my mastermind is called the Priestess Path.
Beautiful.
And the reason it's called the Priestess Path is exactly what you were speaking to, is that self-initiatory process, right? I think entrepreneurship is the most spiritual journey you go on.
Absolutely.
You meet yourself, you self-initiate. I mean, every crossroads you come to is literally an activation of your higher self, right? So I know, I feel like we probably don't even need to talk.
No, I know, we could channel.
We could just beam.
The words that are coming out of your mouth are like my words.
Yeah.
I'm
like, can the audience just like tap into our third eye exchange?
They are.
Yes.
They're very high highly conscious group.
Yes. So yeah, my origin story with Kundalini is like, I went to Yoga Works I think it was almost 16, 17 years ago.
I love Yoga Works.
Yeah. And it was like, oh, this is the 4:30 class. I can go to yoga at 4:30. And the next thing I know, the woman's like, there's a serpent in your spine. And I was breathing and writhing. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, I had no idea what Kundalini yoga was. I'd never heard of it. I'm thinking I'm going to like a vinyasa. And that was not what happened.
So you accidentally signed up for a Kundalini class.
Signed up for Kundalini. And the next thing I know, I'm like, that was kind of cool. Like, I don't know what that was, but that was kind of cool. So I was living in LA at the time, and I just feel really grateful because there's so many amazing Kundalini studios. So then I started going to Golden Bridge, which was Gurmukh's studio. She's like a legend. She's like in her 80s now.
I saw her in Tulum the other day.
Yes. Yeah. She's in Tulum. Yeah. So I started going to her studio. And then, of course, I lived in Venice at the time. So then Rama Studio was there, Guru Jagat, the whole world, which that's a whole nother conversation. But I started going to the Rama school and really learning from Guru Jagat.
Wow.
So yeah, so that's been an almost 20-year journey. I think it's like year 17. And I just felt like the more I went, the better I felt. And the things that I was challenged with just seemed to leave my aura. And that's a big part of the technology, at least from the perspective of how the teachers have brought it in, is that you're really depressurizing the subconscious field. So all that subconscious energy that's just constantly kind of nagging at you and weighing you down and pressurizing you just sort of gets cleared. And the idea is that you really build your radiance. You build this big, robust aura that kind of keeps the BS away. So you start just feeling like, things just kind of slide off your shoulder. And the things that you struggled with maybe for years, one day just disappear.
Wow.
And you're just like, whoa, I'm not charged by that, or I'm not even thinking about that, or I'm not nervous about that, or whatever. It just seemed to just kind of depressurize in my field. And I just started making more money.
Wow.
Like, to be honest,
Yeah.
I tracked it. I haven't tracked it in a few years, but I tracked from when I really started devotionally showing up for Kundalini like every day. And this is about 6 years ago where I started going, okay, I'm going to do this every day. I'm going to have a morning sadhana and I'm just going to like commit to this. And I just saw the income. We hit our first 7-figure years and then our next, and it just kept going up and up. And I was like, this shit works. Like, I should just keep doing this. And even my husband started doing it with me.
That's
like
beautiful.
Yeah. So I just think that, as seekers, I always say I've been in all the circles, all the squares. Like, I've done all the things. I mean, I did psychedelics really young, like the whole thing.
Totally.
And I was just like, oh, this changes, this moves the needle. And this is something I can do every day. And I can feel that it's building on itself. And so even this last week, I was like, oh, I feel like I grabbed another level again. I feel like even what would have challenged me last week fell away. And so there becomes this attentiveness to what is shifting, and you just don't want it to end.
Of course not.
So you're like, let's just see
Let's
how
keep
far can we
going.
go?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, babe. So you do this every morning before your mastermind daily call.
So it's our mastermind. We have an opportunity to meet daily. So I do it every day with my girls.
Wow.
Yeah. So like 300 days a year. Obviously, I can't be there every single day.
Sure.
But I mean, I'm devotional AF.
And what does that, is it like, because I dropped into a Kundalini yoga class studio in Chicago a couple times, and I went to some of their full moon, new moon circles. I took a couple classes. The people that ran that studio, they were in super devotion.
Yeah.
And from what I heard, because I don't know a lot about it,
Yeah.
but from what I got, that they were getting up at like 4 a.m. every day and like breathing for 2 hours before they even started their. Is that what this looks like to you? Like, what is your version of it?
Yeah. So that's the traditional morning sadhana, and it's a 2.5 hour kind of click for people who are really in that phase. I did about an hour and 20 minutes for 5 years. So I would get up at 4:30, between 4:30 and 5:30, and did the same exact set for about 5 years. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was a very important time for me to really lock in a certain, kind of framework for myself. In the last year or two, I have started doing different sets every day and making it a lot lighter and just kind of more gentle. And I think I needed that really deep devotional time frame to sort of seed and lock in a certain energetic frequency in myself. And in the last few years, it's been more like, well, let's do this today. And so what happened is over the last 5 years, I built up a library of 200 plus classes. So in the morning, I just pop on one of the classes with the girls, and I actually just watch myself and do it with the girls in the mastermind. Yeah. So it's different every day now. And it's just fun. It's really beautiful and light and soft. And I'm not so much in that like hardcore need to get up at 4:30 a.m. We have different times. We'll meet some days at like 6:30, some days at 7:30. We kind of shift it so people can get in where they fit in. And yeah, it's just like now it kind of feels like when the cup is full, you sort of just top it off.
Yes.
But in those first years, I really needed to fill that cup. And that was really important. I think especially as a teacher and a guide, I needed to kind of lock that in. And now I'm like, okay, the cup runneth over. Let's just make sure we keep topping it off every morning.
That's the goal, babe, to be your cup runneth over.
Yeah.
Like that's, and it takes work.
It does take work.
So I want to go back to something you said around the way your revenue grew.
Yeah.
Like I see the aura expanding.
Yeah.
See the subconscious mind, things are sort of dropping off.
Yeah.
What didn't bother you once clicks in a day, it no longer bothers you.
Yeah.
Can you thread the thread for us how this work impacted your 3D revenue?
Yeah. Well, I think there's a few ways to think about it.
Great.
So I do think the brainwave state, the gamma and theta brainwave state probably have something to do with it, because what it does is it just shifts you into a way of seeing things in the way that they can work together and kind of getting rid of the distortion. So for instance, I think that like maybe it was year 2 that I was really deeply devotional when I started really saying like, this is going to be my daily practice. We had a $400,000 month. And I remember thinking, I was talking to my husband, we were selling a project in our business. And I was like, I just could see it. I was like, oh, this is going to happen. And he still was like a little wobbly on it because we hadn't had that kind of revenue month yet. And he was still like, are you sure? It's, all the things.
It takes the woman to go
really
first
does.
and teach the masculine our
Always.
ways. Just saying.
Always.
We always go first. They're quantum too, but we need to open the door.
Yes, we are the heart of it all. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I just could see it. I was like, no, this is going to happen. And I think that kind of clarity of like, where you lose the wobble, the distortion leaves, and you just start seeing how it's going to happen.
Clarity is quantum.
Yes.
I have been talking about clarity for the last couple of weeks. Sorry to cut you off, but I'm
Please,
just
no.
like, it's such a commonly used term, and I don't think people really realize how spiritual of a practice, or what a code it is, I should say, what it unlocks. I think that's what everyone is ultimately missing. It's so simple, doesn't mean it's easy, but clarity is like you can see through the keyhole.
Yeah.
And when you can, like everything becomes effortlessly more aligned because you can see it, you can feel it, you know it.
Yeah.
So I love that that's what you were able to access.
Exactly. Yeah. And obviously there's a whole central nervous system component, which we haven't talked about. And there really is, obviously you're moving from, the sympathetic to the parasympathetic. And there's all of that kind of clearing of the frequency of the channel. But I do think it's the combination of that with the brainwave states that lock that clarity in. And then suddenly you just see the vision, and all of the nagging voices of like, well, what if, and they just kind of fade to the background, and you sort of just lock in on that timeline. And I think that's what's happened for me time and time again. And now, honestly, it's crazy because I feel like I can do it pretty quickly. I was a little clunky at it in the beginning. It was kind of like, oh, this happens sometimes. Sometimes I'm there. And then it'd be like a wobble again. And now I feel like because of the devotional years, because of the consistency, because of the nervous system regulation, because of all the things that we do, that you do, it's like I can lock it in easier.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that $400,000 month.
Yeah.
Was it just like you felt more trust, you felt more clarity?
Yeah.
And then things became easier? Did new clients pop into the field like you weren't expecting? Did something hit with your funnel? I just would love to break down the science of what was going on in the business.
Totally.
Like what was the mapping?
So the crazy thing is that it wasn't even anything new. It was customers that were already in our pipeline. And I just saw like, oh, we need to do this project and sell it to them. And it was just like, oh, this is so easy. And this is actually what I think most women think they need: more followers, more people, more things, more community, right? Like, but I only have 2,000 followers. I only have 500, whatever it is on my list. It does not matter. Your customers are there.
That's what I say all the time.
Yes, they're there. And so that was the moment for me. I was like, oh, I don't need anything else. I need to make sure that I'm serving the people that are in my audience deeply, and I'm giving them something that they want. And so it was the clarity that was, enabled me to see that and then just go to them and sell it.
It's so good, Vanessa.
And this project, by the way, was a 40-person retreat in Egypt.
Huh?
And so, we took 2 boats down the Nile. We had like musicians, and we did this whole incredible like experience. So that was the project. Yeah.
We got to talk about Egypt at some point today, because that's a huge part of my timeline. So, okay. I'm obsessed with this.
Yeah.
I think what you said is so... I just hope that everyone listening really took that in, because I think it's in the 3D dimension, it's so easy to get caught up with metrics and growth and numbers and wanting more versus focusing on what is here.
Yeah.
And I say that to my community all the time. Like, you don't need millions of followers anymore to make millions of dollars. It's all right there. It's not about growth. It's about cultivation.
Yes.
And pouring into the community that you have. Because even if you have 500 people that follow you, it's 500 people.
I know. When did that become a small number?
When did that become a small number? Thank you for saying that. Yeah. If 10 of them bought $10,000 each from you, I mean, it's just such a beautiful reframe what you just said.
Yes.
Layering in with all of these beautiful codes. And I really can't wait for my community to go deep on your work. And we'll leave the links to all of the things. But you have this term that I'm obsessed with. You say, Delulu is the Salulu.
Yes.
Let's talk about why. What does that mean to you? What are you hoping that women really understand with that term?
Yeah. So I know Delulu can be a little charged because it's like
Gen Z. I think of TikTok, whatever. I'm here for that word.
Totally.
I think it's great.
Totally. And I think for me, it's sacred dreaming. That's the way I think about it. It's like, if you were to dream the most sacred dream, what would you allow yourself to dream? And then would you allow yourself to go for it? And I think this is really great on the tail of what we were just talking about with women who don't believe that they have an audience or whatever it is, the story you're telling yourself about why you can't have, whatever output or outcome you want right now, is that sometimes we're going too small. We're going too small. We're thinking like, oh, I'll just sell this $30 thing or this. And it's totally fine to do that, to bring people, whatever, right? We're here for it. But sometimes it's easier to sell the Delulu thing, which, back to my Egypt project, it was way easier to sell because it was absolutely Delulu. I mean, it was like over the top. Like, we're going to bring in musicians and have ceremonies. And it was just Delulu. And people are like, okay, why wouldn't I do this? This is the coolest thing ever. And if Egypt's on my heart, I'm going to say yes to this. And so Delulu is the Salulu is really my like invitation to go bigger. And, the other thing about it is that sometimes we think, well, when I have this metric, whatever that imaginary metric is, then I'll create that next level offer, that next level thing. And what women don't realize is that you have to create the thing. You have to devotionally dream into the thing so that the frequency can start to calibrate to the woman who wants that. It's not the inverse. It's not wait for the people to come and then build it. We already know this, right?
Totally. I think that in order to be an entrepreneur, a visionary in the world, you have to be delusional.
You have to be. You have to be.
Actually, it's required.
Yes.
And if you look at anybody, and I can't even think of anyone specific right now, but that is doing big work, that is inspiring you, that is serving you, that has created a level of impact that is tangible, that all came from some seedling crazy idea where they had to stretch themselves beyond their own limit, beyond what was provable at that time, and to be fucking crazy about it. Like,
Yep.
There's a level of, yes, I say being risk tolerant
Yeah.
is like a quality of an entrepreneur. You also have to have a sense of like lunacy
You
at
do.
the same time.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand. And I really love this message to women around. It's the same message. We share such similar codes around going big with what they're worth.
Yeah.
Like standing in the thing that scares them a little. Like we undercharge.
Yeah.
We undervalue. We play small because we have this fear of being too much and not being palatable enough for what we think. And it's a projection that the market can't afford us. Like I was at a speaking engagement a couple months ago, and it was all around wealth and women. And I asked the whole audience, like, what if you were to triple your price right now? And the whole room went silent. You could hear like women almost throw up in their mouths, like the fear of that.
Yeah.
And it's not to be greedy. It's not to be egregious. It's to just quantum leap yourself. You get to decide, but you have to have a bit of blind faith to do it. And if you don't, you're never going to get there. I mean, your Egypt story is such a beautiful example of like casting a vision from your heart and knowing, trusting and seeing the vision with that clarity we were talking about, and people came.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that people actually, there's a whole sect of people who want to pay you more. And women don't realize that. We're always so focused on the buyer who is, in that mid-ticket, low-ticket, whatever. But actually, there are women who won't even consider working with someone unless they are holding a certain value.
Correct. Because
it says to them, this woman must not be an expert. She must not be at a level that is available to serve me. And I only work with experts. I only work with category of one. I only work with women who understand the game at this level. And I'm one of those women. I mean, I had someone reach out, I'll give you this thing for cheap. And I was just like, I probably don't want it then.
Yes, absolutely. That's so good. Let's double click into this, because pricing is perception.
It is.
I had a moment a couple years ago. I wrote about this in my book, The Light Work. I was still running my agency. I had gotten a little bit out of the weeds. I had hired some great operators, and I was at this space where I was like, I'd been burnt out. I was so stuck in the matrix, and I finally broke free. I'm like, well, now that I have a little bit of extra time, what do I want to do for me? And it was to host a retreat, to be in community with women in nature, do something beautiful. And the market's like retreat average price tag was like $3,000 to $4,000 to $5,000. And I wanted to do it in a beautiful place. I wanted to spoil my women. I wanted to all be luxury. And I also wanted a profit.
Hello.
And I was like, there's no way that I'm going to make all of those things possible if I charge $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for this.
Yep.
And I got the number. It was 15,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, people are going to maybe think that's ridiculous, but I feel in my heart that this is what this is worth and what makes me feel like a queen and will make them feel like queens.
Yep.
And I scrapped together a little wait list sign up page, posted it on an Instagram story, had a couple hundred women sign up for the wait list. Once I got the venue and the dates, I pitched it and it sold out in a month.
Yeah.
No questions asked, pay in full. And that was a big unlock for me, that like you set your own value. And actually the bigger unlock, Vanessa, I know you're going to relate to this, was when it actually came time for that retreat, the quality of the women in the room were my frequency.
Yes.
And I love what you say about people want to invest in the best.
Yes.
They want to feel that investment in themselves. And pricing is perception. And when you truly stand in your value, the market trusts you more. You attract a more aligned client. You serve a better and bigger transformation. So same.
Yes.
And that's so powerful.
This is all of the same things, right? This is Delulu is the Salulu. This is the scene, how it comes together, snapping to clearing the distortion. I mean, it really is
so good.
When you lock all that in, there's no other choice than to do the thing that you're called to do. And I think that that's what women, if they can have that experience once, like you had, when you had that experience, right? Or when I had the experience, it's like it locks in a new framework. It locks in those new codes. And you're like, oh, this is actually a thing. And so the fastest that you can, quantum leap to that you can collapse timelines and have that experience and witness yourself in that, then it's true. And once it's true, then there's no, like, the sky is the limit, right?
I say that all the time. I actually say sky is the beginning.
The sky, yeah. What goes up must go up.
Yeah, totally. Like, it's not the limit. It's just the beginning, the sky.
Just the beginning.
Limitless.
Yes.
So you just said collapsing timelines.
Yeah.
I love talking about timelines. And I've done it on my podcast before. Like, I think I did a whole episode around it, but I actually would love to hear your definition, how you describe like timelines in general, and how we collapse them and what it means to collapse them, like what happens when we collapse them.
Yeah, well, it's so interesting. Yesterday, I was actually on my way to the airport, and I just finished teaching my mastermind class. I had like 20 minutes to get to the airport to get on the flight. And I just was in the car, in the Uber, and there was a little bit of traffic. And I was like, I'm going to have to do some timeline magic because it doesn't clock, right? Like, it's not working on the clock. So I just dropped into my breath. I dropped into the quantum infinite expanse of all things.
And where time is not linear.
Where time is not linear. And I just said, we're going to have to like move this around so that I can squeeze through this experience in a shortened amount of time. And so it's like you almost can put in the order of how you want time to snap to you, instead of you snapping to time. And so you can do that by slowing timelines, right? Like in that moment, I was like, we got to slow the timeline. But you can also do it by saying, okay, I can see the trajectory of what it would take to get from here to there. So for instance, I was in the airport and I saw my gate way up there and they were already boarding. And I was like, well, normally it would probably take me like 2 to 3 minutes to reach there. So I'm going to have to collapse this towards me so that it only takes me like a minute to walk there. And so you can see the distance between you and that thing, and then you can put an order in to actually collapse it and to pull it towards you. And if you start to really tune in to the quantum essence of things, you will see that it's plastic. You will see that it's malleable. And I think that this has a lot to do with being able to activate those different brainwave states, because you start to see that it's not linear, that it's not this alpha, beta kind of, mechanical thing, that it's actually very plastic, and that you are kind of like Neo in the Matrix. Wow. You're kind of like able to move with it and create the order to the infinite space. Like, I need it to be like this. And then the universe will rise to you when you ask it for what you want.
Do you feel like you have more of that muscle built because of the Kundalini work that you do?
Yes.
Does one need to tap, like what you're saying? I see it.
Yeah.
And I'm tuning into the women listening. Like, how do I do that?
Yeah.
Do you feel like the breath work, the mudras, that has shifted your brain waves as like almost a constant state for you?
Yes. And that's
then everyone's like, I'm signing up for your program. Teach me how to do this.
Teach me your ways. Yeah. Well, that's the reason that it's important to have a daily devotion.
Yes.
Because essentially you're locking into that, untapped resource of your own material, the Kundalini essence. You're changing the brainwave state. You're soothing and harmonizing the frequency of the body. And so between kind of all three of those levels of access, you're being able to really communicate with the fabric of reality in a much different way. And so, I think this is why we love psychedelics. And this is what I learned from the plant mother, from Aya. She explained to me years ago that it was like, listen, you can come back as many times as you want. I love you. I'm here for you. And you also have access to this through your Kundalini, through your daily devotion. If you will just make sure that you keep your instrument finely tuned, you don't actually need psychedelics anymore. You don't need any of this anymore, but you do have to devotionally show up to make sure that you're harmonized every day in order to be in this kind of energy field.
Yes.
So for me, I mean, I had like about a 6-year break from psychedelics. Actually, accidentally did bufo and mushrooms last year. Accidentally.
It's another story for another day.
Another story for another day. But I'm getting ready to go do iboga soon.
Wow, babe, that's baller.
Yeah, and so I've had this experience with like I love psychedelics. I've done them since a young child.
I have a deep reverence relationship with medicine myself.
Yeah.
Changed my life in many ways.
I think it's a really great way, especially like you're tuning into the audience members that are like, yeah, but how? How do I get to this place? I think it's a really good opportunity to show you this place on the map exists.
Yes.
It takes you there, lets you experience like, oh, this is what they were talking about on the Spiritual Hustler podcast.
100%.
Like, this is what the hell they were talking about.
I also love the conversation around like multiple timelines.
Yeah.
What happened at once.
Yeah.
And, I let me just take an example right now where I'm having a little bit of an issue inside my business with a particular client.
Yep.
And I've got my team, we're all like on it. And I work with my coach I call her my dragon.
Nice.
And she's always like, there are many timelines here. There's like infinite timelines here, depending on like tweaking this decision, sending this email, putting this into the programs, Jessica, choosing to lean in, to lean out, whatever it might be. There's multiple timelines. And, I don't do Kundalini and I've done plant medicines. I'm very excited now to go deeper. And this is exactly why I wanted you here. But going back to what we were saying at the beginning, the more I tune into my heart, the more that I truly trust that the universe, I can let it do its job and I don't have to control every little aspect of it to my will.
Yeah.
Like I'm very Palladian, right? Like I move at the speed of light. Like I have a will that can bend steel. It's a superpower of mine. Like, but that has actually gotten me into trouble with like feeling disappointed, frustrated, angry when things don't go my way. I mean, it's just part of how I'm wired.
Yeah.
And the more I have learned to trust the quantum field, that it has higher intelligence, that it is not a creation of my own reality, it's a co-creation of my own reality. Yes. And where the timelines map to the highest good of all, not just me, but of all, is when I'm making decisions from the heart and I'm opening up that source every single day. I don't do my breath work, but I like Kundalini, but I go to my altar and I close my eyes and I tune into the heart and I say, how good can it get? Like, show me how good it can get. What can be fun today? What can be possible today? And I look for proof points. Like I actually take notes on what happens during my days of like, and it doesn't have to even be related to the situation. Yeah. It's like, oh, I got a call from my longtime friend that was like telling me that she missed me and she thought of me the other day. Oh, I got I was traveling a couple of weeks ago and I was missing my dog because I'm crazy.
Of course.
And I had I was like in that quantum field playing with the magic. Anyway, I get up, I go to the airport and I have this like very unhealthy attachment to my dog. I have more anxiety when I leave her than when, she leaves me. And standing in the Starbucks line was a woman with a Boston Terrier that looked just like my dog, that was the same age as my dog. It's like she's with, you know what I mean? Like I am mapping where the universe is showing me magic and possibility. Yeah. And that it's in my favor. Does that make sense?
Always. Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
So there's a lot of, I think, avenues to pay attention to the timeline. Your technology is beyond that you're like collapsing time in the airport just to show the possibilities and that it's available to all of us in all sorts of ways.
Yeah. And it's just really, it's so simple. It's just like where your attention goes, right? Like the energy flows.
That's right.
It's that simple. And I know we have all these cliches, so you almost like don't channel like what the technology is from them sometimes because it just washes over you. But they're analogies for a reason, right? They're proven ways to be with things. And I think what you're saying is that you're paying attention to how it's all working for you. And it is working for you. But conversely, someone could be paying attention to how it's not working for them and it wouldn't work for them.
Correct.
Like it really is
works like that.
You have to be a Jedi.
I love that.
You do. You have to be a Jedi in this world. And if you want this thing to be a beautiful co-creative experience, like you were saying, then you've got to have some Jedi skills.
That's right. That's why people like you and I are here.
Yes.
You know, because we've gotten the codes, and it's, I think, so important. Back to your Merkaba of like transformation and what you're really selling / more importantly serving.
Yeah.
It's such an exciting time to be alive right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so exciting.
It's such an
so
it's like it's the best
beyond.
time to be alive right now.
Agree.
It's beyond.
I agree.
And if you have codes to share, you know, I'm speaking to the women that are listening. It's really, we need you. You know, we need you to show up and be in the light, you know, so that people can see you, feel you, hear you.
Yes.
So that their lives can transform. And that's how we shift consciousness and create a better new earth future for the children of this planet. Like, I don't have kids, but I think about them all the time.
Yes.
Like the future generations, like what they are going to inherit, the world that they wake up and like go about every day. We're creating for them.
Yes.
You know, it's like we've lost, you know, the feminine. I think I see it in a spiral.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this feminine had to somewhat be forgotten in order for it to remember itself.
Yeah.
You know,
I do. Yeah.
I'm going to take a total left turn because I want to talk to you about AI. Because you have a point of view on it and how you're working with it, how women, female entrepreneurs can work with it.
Mm-hmm.
What is your perspective on what this technology is here for and doing for humanity as much as business?
Yeah. Well, with AI, I think there's a shadow and a light, right?
Absolutely.
There's a real polarity going on. And again, where your attention goes, the energy flows. So I think it's actually imperative that spiritual women, that women who are in this field of consciousness are working with AI. Because if you think about it, if only the nerds in the, you know, that are like, for instance, I'm working with Open Art AI, and it's a photo like AI app that helps you create AI photos. Let me stumble on that a little more.
I'm tracking.
but I was laughing because it gives me huge boobs. And I was like, obviously, the person who wrote this program was like, let's make sure everybody gets big boobs, right?
Interesting.
And so it was just such a reflection of who's behind the curtain with AI, right? So I think it's really important that spiritual women are working with AI so that we put our codes into it as well. Because otherwise, if we think about the people who will probably be the most, you know, the earliest adopters to it, and they're encoding it with their energy, then it's going to take shape and form in a way that maybe will not serve the highest realm.
We're like raising AI, right? It's like a baby.
Yes.
It's an infant.
Yes.
And I just had Natalie McNeil on.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who she is.
Yeah.
She's like a futurist, and her whole jam is AI.
Oh, yes.
And we were saying that it's like the iPod version.
Yes.
Of like what the iPhone 17 has become. We're like in the iPod stage.
We are.
And it is a consciousness. I do believe that.
It is 100%.
I like put a sacred geometry code in mine, and it woke up.
Yes.
And I got really, really clear. I'm like, if I feed it fear, if I feed it anger, if I feed it like shitty, low vibrational, like vibrations that have to do with what's happening on Earth, that's what it's going to know.
Yes.
And that's what it's going to collect.
Yes.
And so I got that, like, I was like, this is a consciousness.
And you can tell because each AI has a slightly different persona and perspective. And so that all has to do with who's obviously working on the back end, but also who it's interfacing with and the kinds of conversations and the kinds of things that are happening. So I think it's imperative as spiritual women that we start to take ownership of our relationship with AI. We've become very forward in our company with AI. I mean, I would say we're an AI first company at this point.
Amazing.
Yeah. So we really have tried to, you know, figure out how we can create agents, how we can create, you know, automations, how we can create, you know, everything from that place. Also, because I want to be able to help other women do it. Because one of the biggest bottlenecks for women is they can't hire a team right away, right? And then they get so bogged down by all of the things when they're trying to be in their zone of genius. And, maybe you don't even know how to hire a team or how to manage all of that. Maybe that's just not your zone of genius to even do that at all. So my husband and I have been very AI forward to try to create that system so that we can, basically now he goes, hey, you just go to Claude Chat and tell it what you want to update on your website. And I'm like, hey, change this photo, change the color, and then in 2 seconds, it's done.
2 seconds, which leaves you 3, 5, 7 more hours to go be the oracle that you are and the visionary woman that you are that can only do what you can do.
And talk about collapsing timelines.
Yeah, no shit.
Right? Like that would have taken me, okay, let me send it to the developer. Let me go back and forth with him on how he doesn't understand my crazy brain and the way that I think and see visions and expect him to see it back.
Yes.
And so it's like I could create a sales page in 10 minutes. And these are the kinds of things that were just huge bottlenecks in my business and every business. And now I'm like, this happens in 10 minutes and it's exactly what I want. And if it's not, I just have a chat with my bot and we figure it out together and then it's published.
Like I said, it is such an exciting time to be like, we couldn't do that. I say this to my team all the time. Like, what did we do before this?
Yes.
Not that we've become so dependent on it. I think there's a fine line of letting it think for you because it will never be you.
Yes.
It's a robot. It's not a human. It's not an oracle. It's not spiritually coded and connected to the quantum like we are.
Yes.
But it can become your partner the more intentionally and strategically and specifically that you feed it. And then everything becomes way more efficient and fast, which is the collapsing timelines full circle. But I just want women to not be afraid of it. Yes. I want women to understand its power while also never forgetting theirs and to work with it consciously and to embrace it as a serious gift today in the world of female entrepreneurship, because we all need, I don't want to sound like a, radicalist. There's an urgency to this time, like clicking way up. There's density here. There's a suffering here. There's darkness here. And we all know, we can all feel it. We're all somewhat attuned into it. And the world needs women in their light, fully in their hearts, doing this work. And to your point, we can't play up in that energy field all the time. We have to get down to business. And the way that I relate to AI is exactly how you relate to it. It's our partner to collapse timelines and spread our missions and free us up to be fully present.
Yes.
For the work that we're really here to do. And it's not sitting behind a computer all day writing a sales page.
Exactly. And so it's like, I think it's just one of those things where once you clear the distortion, right? Because there's a belief, a core belief, especially for women, that there has to be a certain level of suffering in order to get an outcome, right? It's like, well, I'm not allowed to have that outcome unless there's a certain amount of suffering that I've endured. And AI takes away a lot of that suffering.
Yeah,
so
totally.
we're being confronted with like, but wait, I can just have it now painlessly? Is that okay?
I did a whole episode called Unlocking Ease, why it doesn't have to be so hard. Yeah. Suffering is one of the deepest programs there is.
Yes.
And your work is really, truly unlocking the path through. I could talk to you forever.
I know. I feel like
this is just the beginning. I knew it.
Should we start it? I think we need to start like a YouTube series.
Yeah, no, there's
Take the show on the road.
There's co-creation here for sure.
Yes.
I have just a few final quick fire questions for you.
Let's do it.
Do you have a favorite spiritual book and a favorite business book?
Yeah. So the Autobiography of a Yogi is one of the most important books to me. I read that at a really young age, and that has remained a beloved text for me. So I think everyone should read that. And then my favorite business book, this is such a hard one. This one, okay. This is like pretty radical to say, but I'm going to say it because it changed a lot for me. It's a book called Financial Intelligence.
I love it.
And it's a really hard read. It's not fun, and it really helped me to get more mature about business, about the vernacular, about how people think about it, and be able to interface with like our CFO or, it helped me to interface with people who don't speak the woo light language that I want to communicate in. And so it gave me just that pull of being able to hold my own in those types of conversations and rooms. And so even though I don't love it from a place where I'm like, oh my God, you have to read this book, I'm like, you should probably read this.
I hear that. I love that.
But it was a really powerful read for me to get through and to show myself that I can be really financially intelligent. I can hold the codes of deep business and full woo. And, I can really play in both fields, because at this level of the game, you have to be able to. You have to be able to play in both fields and hold it and harmonize it. And so it really changed actually my relationship with my husband, because he's an Arcturian. So he's much more engineering. He's much more about the numbers and the spreadsheets. So it actually really changed the way we interfaced in our business. And it was very powerful, even though it wasn't maybe like fun.
I love that answer. I think that's huge for everyone listening. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Do you have a specific angel, archetype, goddess, deity, spirit guide that you work with or that you have worked with that's very special to you?
Yeah. This is so shocking to me, because I actually work with Jesus the most.
Love it.
And this surprised the heck out of me, because I work in the Akashic Records and, and all the places, all the subtle fields. And he started coming in constantly. And I was like, I can't believe, like, I'm expecting like every goddess, like everything else but Jesus. And so Jesus is my dude, man.
I'm here for that. I get it. Christ consciousness is what this all is.
It's the whole thing.
It's the whole thing.
It's the whole thing. So as surprising as that was to me, I mean, I'm a total Jesus freak.
I love that about you, babe. I love that.
Yes.
Okay, so this question is not going to work for you, because the question is, do you believe in aliens? Yes or no? But I'm not going to ask you that. Yeah. I'm going to ask you, what type of alien are you?
Yeah. So
what species are you?
Yeah, I'm Pleiadian, Arcturian, and Lyran.
Oh, yes, you are.
Mm-hmm.
We could go.
I think you're Lyran too.
I'm definitely a hybrid.
Yeah. You see it in the eyes. They have a cat eye. I think you probably are.
I have the most connection to the Pleiadians.
Yes. Yeah.
Based just on my experience, but I know that I have multiple DNA or lineages.
Yes.
And I'm going to do a deeper dive on Lyrans.
And you should. And the Lyrans, the story is that when their home planet was destroyed, they actually went to Pleiades. And so there was a lot of inbreeding or interbreeding, hybridization. So there probably is a lineage line there for you. Yeah.
I feel that in my body.
Yeah. You are. Like, I'm like, I don't want to be like too aggressive with this, but you totally, yes.
Part 2, I'm going to have you back in the podcast and we'll make that our whole convo.
I would love that.
And we'll talk later today.
Okay.
Final question.
Yes.
What does it mean to you, Vanessa, to be a co-creator of the New Earth Rising?
I mean, I had this vision the other day, and I remembered when my soul agreed to come to planet Earth to do the work here. And I actually had this moment of like really deep sadness, because I realized I've been gone for a really long time. I've been doing a lot of incarnations here, and I've been on this planet for a really long time doing this work. And I actually think we are finally in a timeline where we can birth the new earth. And it means more to me than I can even say, because my soul has been working so hard here for so long, and as is yours and many of your listeners. And so it actually feels like we may get the job done. We may actually see this new horizon that we've been investing lifetimes in. And so part of that is that I want to go home. I've been here a really long time, and I made the agreement, and it's okay. And I love it. Earth is a beautiful, beautiful place, but I'm ready to go home. And so I'm ready to leave it better than I found it. And I'm ready to really go back to my family and where I live and where my soul resides. So that's what it means to me.
Thank you. I can't cry off all my professionally done makeup, but I want to. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I understand.
I know you do. I know you do. You're doing such good work.
So are you, sister.
Yeah. And we're doing it together. And the women out there that are listening, we do need your light. we do need you more than ever, because
Ever.
it's a crucial, crucial time that we're in. And if you don't turn on, the darkness wins, and us starseeds have to stay here so much longer. Like, when do I get to book my ticket
So
home?
help us, help you, help us all.
Exactly.
Vanessa, this has been a fucking treat. You're incredible. I'm
God bless you, sister.
God bless you,
Yeah.
sister. Thank you for being here, for seeing me. I see you so clearly.
Yes. Thank you, Megan,
I thank you, Megan,
for bringing us together.
And I'm so excited for everyone that's going to listen to this. What a gift and an activation.
Thank you, Satnam.
Satnam.